Okay, today we are going to do something different. Today we are going to go over books that I have, that I forgot I have, that I really want to read, that I keep pushing off, that I keep procrastinating on. And the reason I'm doing this is one, to show you that don't keep buying books because you're going to have a stack of them you haven't read. And two, to like give myself some accountability because now that I put that I've had these books for a while and I haven't read them, then probably someone's going to pressure me to read it. Someone's going to pressure me, oh, you got to read this one, you got to do this. So hopefully inspire me to finally start getting through the things that I have that I refuse to pick up for whatever reason. Most of the time I'm just like, oh, well, I have this shiny rock, I have this shiny rock, and there's like too many things for me to get through. But without further ado, let me show you the entire stack. I think I got all of them in there. If I didn't, I'm sorry. The first one we have is Plato's Republic. This is probably Plato's most famous work. It talks a lot about politics as well as philosophy, and I know there's some interesting ideas in here. I don't exactly want to say what I think it's going to be about in case I'm wrong because I haven't done much research on it, but I really am upset with myself for not reading this earlier because I like the way Plato writes. He writes in the form of dialogues, and I'm not sure. Yeah, it looks like this is dialogue, so I really should pick this up because I do like Plato's writing. Um, the next thing we have is The Idiot by Dostoevsky. I love Dostoevsky. I really haven't read a lot of him, and that's really sad because I really do like his style. I think he always has a lot to say, and I don't know why I don't pick up all the Dostoevsky books that I do have, because I have like two or three that I haven't read, and it's like it's been almost a year of me having these books and not reading them. So it's like at a certain point I just have to really commit myself to pick up this author, to get into this author, because he's someone that I already love. He's someone that every book I've read by him has truly inspired me, has truly left its mark. There's a lot of books that I read that like, yeah, I kind of remember it, but Dostoevsky's books I really do remember because they really do speak to the soul. They really do speak to something that most authors cannot recapture, and it's quite a shame. Perhaps I will pick up Dostoevsky very soon. I'm kind of in a lull right now when it comes to books, so maybe I'll actually read one of these. The book I wanted to read is not as exciting as I thought it would be, so maybe I get through that. Maybe I start carrying around one of these and rip through it very quickly. But the next book we have is Ernest Hemingway's, what is this? A Farewell to Arms. Yeah, I've heard about Ernest Hemingway. Obviously, I feel like everyone has. Don't know anything about him. I heard this is one of the better books when it comes to war and the reality of war. And I actually I haven't heard that anywhere except the Catcher in the Rye. But if you like a book and it references another book in it, that's a really good sign for you to pick up that book as well, because what that is telling you is that it influenced an author that you like, that you probably would like it as well. You probably would like the exact same thing that one of your favorite authors liked. And I really do enjoy The Catcher in the Rye. I think it captures the idea of innocence and growing up in a society without the hero's journey, without the rites of passage, without any sort of idea and being thrust into the world without any sort of scapegoats or any sort of protections and all these other things. But the next thing we have is Burmese Days by George Orwell. I love Orwell. Everything I've read by him so far has been tremendous, and I think he does perhaps the best political commentary out of everything I've read. Maybe Huxley is the only one that can kind of rival him, but even Huxley is... I don't really think Huxley is political commentary. I think he's more social commentary. I think he's more spiritually inclined, and that kind of takes it in another direction. But this is going to be interesting because I know this is about his time as a police officer. I think he was in India. Where's Burma? I don't know. Um, I can't remember. I can't remember where he went. I'm sorry, guys. Sometimes my memory's not as good as it used to be. But basically, it's about the population being basically under an imperialist regime, and Orwell was part of this regime, and basically what that does to the people and what that does to the imperialist country itself. The next thing we have is Atlas Shrugged. The only reason I haven't picked this up is because of this. That is the only reason I have not picked this up, because from what I've read of Ayn Rand, I extremely love her philosophy. I think it's super, super interesting. I disagree with her in some regards, but I think her overall message is very important, that when you preserve individual rights, then you preserve the rights of everyone, because think about it this way, like, do unto others as you would want done to yourself. The golden rule. Like, don't do anything that would harm you, that would upset you, that it would in any way, drive you crazy or drive you mad. And if you live that way, then you'll live a good life. That's really the basis of her philosophy. I know she would very much reject it using biblical phrases, but at the same time, I think it's the easiest way to get it across. But it's a super interesting idea. I think it definitely will ring true in my mind because she's very much sort of a libertarian lean. I know she wouldn't like that term. She'd probably be considered an anarchist or something like that, but whatever. Anyway, super excited to read that book. I'll probably pick that up fairly soon, but it's like 1,200 pages. So that's my only hesitation. The next thing we have is Finnegan's Wake. The obvious reason for me not picking this up is I don't want to go insane, but the real answer is, like, I'm not physically prepared for this book. I feel like it's going to take me a little bit of prep. I feel like I'm going to have to psych myself up to read this, and it's not something that's meant to be understood, but, I'm ready for the challenge, just not ready right now, and it's going to be something that I definitely will extremely enjoy at some point in my life, but right now is not that point. But this is something I keep meaning to pick up, something I keep meaning to delve into, but I keep saying, oh, I'll do it later, but you see, like, the point of this video, I'm known to procrastinate, I'm known to push things off. The next thing we have is The Psychology of the Unconscious. This is Jung's first book, really. Actually, it was, like, re-edited, so it depends what you consider. I don't know what edition this is, but most of what's in this book was Jung's first claim to fame, and actually Jung's first departure from Freud, and really what set out Jung to a glorious career and becoming one of the greatest psychologists of all time. But interestingly enough, I've read most of his books. I'm sure he has a million, but, like, most of the popular ones I've read. I just haven't picked up this one, and it'd be interesting to see, like, where his ideas stem from, where his ideas develop from, because I read Freud's really first major work, which was The Interpretations of Dreams, and it was cool because you could see that he wasn't quite willing to say certain things. He wasn't quite willing to make certain assumptions, and he was citing Schopenhauer, he was citing Nietzsche, he was citing, like, pretty interesting figures that I also have studied, and I'm like, oh, I remember reading this. I think he cited Spinoza as well, which I thought was very weird because I would think that Freud would be the last person to cite Spinoza. But anyway, I know it's going to be an interesting book. I know it's going to be super fun, and I can't wait to read it, but I'm still going to procrastinate, let's be real. Again, I'm putting out this video so that you guys yell at me to read all these books that I have, that I have now, so that'd be like, yeah, you said you're going to read this. That's really the point of making this video. It's one, to talk about books that I'm excited to read, and two, so you guys yell at me and make fun of me in the comments and say, you said you were going to do this months ago. So let this be a living testament. The last thing I have is the Illuminatus trilogy by Robert Anton Wilson. I'm pissed that I haven't read this book yet, because Robert Anton Wilson is one of the most fun authors to read. His mind is so interesting, so weird, so out there, and it's like, I've read a lot of his philosophy, I've read a lot of his philosophical ideas, and I can only imagine what his nonfiction is like. I can only imagine what his stories are like, and I'm assuming they're going to be very fun. I'm assuming they're going to be very outlandish. I'm assuming that they're going to be very satirical, and it really sucks that I haven't picked up the book yet. But with that said, let me know if you guys have this problem as well, that you keep buying books, that you keep having things that you say you're going to read, but you don't read, and then you get more things, and then you're like, well, I want to read this first. I want to read this first. Well, I'm interested in this right now, and then you just forget about things. So, yeah, let me know if I'm the only one with this problem. Please tell me I'm not, then I won't feel as bad about myself. Anyway, with that said, I love you guys so much. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for all the support recently. If you want to support the channel, become a channel member. If you want to read my writings, whether it's my philosophy, whether it's my poetry, whether it's my stories, go ahead, join my school community. On top of that, if you want to suggest me books, obviously I need more books, right? If you want to suggest me books, there's a link in the description. Go ahead, click that link. I can't wait till I have like hundreds of suggestions there, and then I'm gonna be like even more overwhelmed with what to read. But anyway, I feel like I said it already, but thank you guys. I love you guys. Peace out. Catch you in the next one.